What was that?
Toccata and Fugue, D minor.
I love it.
I think it was more of like, never mind.
You didn't mean what piece of music? You mean why the
No,
hell?
I meant what?
You sure didn't.
All right, so we're debuting now. You know, everybody, fans of the show, know that we've been working on the Mike Hawk PI series. For Halloween, we are debuting Mike Hawk Zombie Hunter, and this is the trailer.
In a world where Mike Hawk and a ragtag team of zombie annihilators have been keeping the undead scum at bay for over a decade now, life has almost come back to normal. Almost too normal.
We are a vegan community. We commune as vegans. We live as vegans. We eat vegan. We are far away from other communities.
When people start letting their guard down, that's when Mike Hawk's got to be up. I didn't bring the whole team. It was the Ducks' day off. I wasn't worried about being short-handed. I never once had to worry about that dick in my ass. He always has my back.
Oh my God, zombies.
The zom-o-meter is running off the chart. We must be near a source, maybe 2 clicks west.
What's wrong with their meat? I had to know. I knelt down beside the mangled corpse of this smelly, hippie salad shooter, and I swirled 2 fingers in the open neck wound. I brought the digits to my nostrils, smelled the crimson goo on the tip of Mike Hawk's extremity. My tongue had not yet passed my lips when it was just inside her.
We might not want to do that. A guy could go all brain biter if he isn't careful.
Here, smell my finger.
I'm not falling for that again, Mike.
Mike Hawk may be into something big.
We gotta let them know that there's something on Yaws and Dick's Insider. Get him on the radio.
There's Dick's Insider. He's about 2 clicks west with Dick in my ass. Ophelia, get on the blower.
You mean?
We're gonna need the full force of Mike Hawk and my ass amount.
You mean?
Yeah, get me huge on.
It's all the kale. It ruins the taste of human meat like it ruins everything else.
Dicks in my ass. It was Mike Hawk. Mike Hawk is calling Dicks in my ass. There's a heavy activity near your location, according to the zombometer. You may be near a source.
What are we gonna do? Quick, everybody. Under this glass table.
What on earth?
A little spoiler alert.
Yeah, I saw that.
Little,
That'd be a
little
cool thing.
All right, we're live. What happened?
Yeah.
This week.
Hang on, let Mike go. I got a whole bunch of shit.
This week. Yeah,
All right.
that was the A block. We already did that.
Yeah, I don't know why I was doing that.
I was so confused. I looked up and I saw myself.
Well,
And
he's doing stuff. Of course, we're gonna have problems. But a little, another spoiler alert. Just so people know, in the Mike Hawk trilogy, they're gonna argue over whether it's pronounced zombometer or zombometer.
it's zombometer.
Big crux to the plot line, actually.
Hey.
But we are here with, I mean, I would say a local legend. You know, as far as, I got a buddy who
award-winning local legend,
an award-winning local legend, Miss Colleen Anderson Pendergrass. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
I don't know about local legend.
Well, I mean,
do.
Here's the thing: first of all, thank you for putting up with all of our shit, the first block, and we really
in that trailer,
and we're gonna.
I don't mind at all.
So just to kind of get into it, you are the curator of Croydon Haunted Hollows.
Yes.
And I got a buddy who moved to Croydon like 2 years ago, right down the street, and he heard of you, but he didn't know if it was worth, taking a walk. I'm like,
Absolutely,
first of all, it's free.
Mm-hmm.
It's dead ass free. Like
right,
there is no. Oh wait. There is no. I have paid for shittier experiences.
Not that it was shitty.
No, right. How do I rephrase?
You've paid for really low budget.
I've paid for really shitty experiences. This is a top tier, like, horror attraction.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Absolutely free, and you have this. Well, I'm just kind of ranting, and that's not what a good podcast.
I personally have never been to a haunted attraction except for yours, and as much as I want to support you, I will be on the sidewalk next to your.
I'll get her in. Don't worry. But tell us a little bit about how it started and what's what made this come about. Like what was the? I mean, obviously Halloween's awesome and you celebrated Halloween, but what made it this big thing?
Okay, so I mean, real quick, let's get a little sad here, just for 1 second. 1 second.
Mhm.
So I had told you earlier that my mom passed away when I was 8. And my dad passed away at 21. So my mom passed away on Christmas morning. So what a way to ruin a holiday for a kid. Not that she chose that.
Right.
So, can you say anti-Christmas? Yeah, pretty much. We didn't really celebrate Christmas. But flash forward, the same year that my father passed away, I got married 2 months later. So it was all like in the works. And I said to my new husband, I said, I remember as a kid walking around the neighborhood and there would always be like houses dressed up and, like had, people ready to scare you. And we had like 20 trick-or-treaters. And it was sad. And he said, well, why don't we change that? So our first Halloween, I got in my wedding gown. And he dressed up as Frankenstein. So we were Frankenstein, the Bride of Frankenstein. And I stood at the front door with my cat. I had a black cat named Midnight. And, we terrorized what little trick-or-treaters that we had. So then the following year, I got my best friend involved. And he dressed up as Dracula. And we made him a coffin that fit him. And then the third year, we brought in his little sister. And then from there, it just grew.
Mm-hmm.
And then... I think it was 2015. So I had heard from a friend of mine that this woman had owned did like a haunted house walkthrough in Feasterville, and she lost her house, and but she loved to haunt. So I reached out to her and I said, listen, I have like about 10 people, and do you want to get back into haunting? And she said, yeah. Her name's Adrian. And she says, I could probably track down my crew. I had all these props. She told me like she had a real working electric chair and a guillotine and real coffins. And I said, all right, so you have the props. We have very little stuff, so let's track down your stuff. So we spent a year tracking down all of her things and getting some of her crew together. And then that first year that we combined, we had like 200 people, and we thought like we were the shit. Like we were it.
Absolutely, that's awesome.
Was Adrian a scarecrow last year?
What's that?
Was Adrian a scarecrow last year?
Adrian was the scarecrow last year.
Oh my gosh, she
actually glued that stuff to her face. She is.
Oh, she was the one hanging from the fucking wall. She scared the shit out of him, dude.
She is such an extreme haunter. She's amazing. She's amazing. She's 66 years old and still haunting.
Love to see it.
Yeah, she's amazing. So we just grew from there. We just, friends and family just kind of joined our group. And I was working at the newspaper at the time, and one of the life editors said, oh, let's feature this haunted house, because by then we were up to like 300 people, 400 people walking through.
Mm-hmm.
We started to get a little buzz on the street, and he says, let's throw together an article, get a picture, we'll put it in the paper. And I was like, oh my god, sweet. And he's like, what do you call yourselves? I'm like,
I don't know.
That's a good question. Croydon. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We're in Croydon. Okay, cool.
Yep. Haunted Hollows. Yep, that's what we call it. That's what we call
ourselves.
So I went back and I was like, hey, by the way, everybody, I had to throw a name together, and we're going to be Croydon Haunted Hollows. I don't know if anybody is okay with that. And they're like, oh yeah, that's great. So then to flash forward, a few years, and my daughter was 16, and she was dating a boy who has Asperger's. And he said, he was helping us set up, and he's like, this is great. I really like this, but a lot of kids that I went to school with won't be able to like come through your little show here. And I said, why? And he goes, well, because we have sensory like things going on and autism. And I was like, okay, explain, because I had no idea. I mean, I knew what autism was a little bit. Right. So explain some more. And he said, oh, loud sounds, strobe lights, and I said, well, that's, we should like quiet it down for you guys. And he was like, that would be cool. So it just so happens that not too long after that, probably about a week later, I was at a networking group because I'm a graphic designer. And I never bring up Halloween at a networking group. Never. It's just it's not everybody's jam. Like not everybody is a big
professional thing.
No. And I was at this networking event, and the question was, talk about something you wouldn't talk about at a networking event. And I was like,
well.
All right, it's showtime. So I said, oh, my family and I, we were up to about 30 volunteers at this point, almost 40. We run up this little Halloween haunt in my yard, and but I'm kind of toying around with doing a sensory friendly. And a woman stood up and she said, oh my God, we have to talk. And so her name is Jackie, and she has an incredible story too. So she has a nonprofit called TB Children's Services. So she she had adopted many autistic children. And when she couldn't find services for them, she went out and created her own nonprofit to create these services. And she's a big fan of Halloween. And so we talked about it. And the next day, we were actually having a crew meeting. And I said to everybody at the crew, who here knows somebody with autism? And everybody raised their hand. I said, guess what? I think we need to do this. I think we all like to get our scare on, but this is like, I think we need to do this. I think we need to have a sensory friendly hour. So at the time I was working, well, I still work multiple jobs. And my friend said, every year you don't go on vacation, you don't go do things for your family because all your jobs, go into paying for this crazy thing, make it a nonprofit. I said, there's no way the IRS is going to approve me to be a nonprofit. And I filled out the paperwork and sent it in. She assisted me. And 10 days later, I got a letter from the IRS that said, you're approved and you're unique. And then a day later, a woman from the IRS Philadelphia branch called me, and I said, oh, you're going to call and take it back, right? She said, no, I have an autistic son and I want to know where this is at because I heard of anything like this.
Oh, love to see it.
So you're a nonprofit, so you do accept donations.
Yeah, we
from
do
outside,
donations.
from individuals.
Yeah, any
sources.
donations or sponsorships or tax deductible. Yep, that's me.
There you are, dressed up, and you're from last year, looking wonderful.
Yes. So so that was last year. I had like a haunted mansion room because I'm a big Disney haunted mansion fan. But we do attract quite a bit of traffic, as you could tell. Our biggest night one year we had 1,800 come through in one night.
Crazy.
And that's including like the sensory friendly. So we're open for 3 hours and we had 1,800 people.
Wow.
Walk through.
So now, is this a Halloween event just only on Halloween, or
no? We have it on one other night too. So this year we have it on October 27th and October 31st. We used to just have it on Halloween, but we had so many people, so we try to split it up. And a lot of people from Croydon want to be able to go see us, and because they're giving out candy on Halloween. So we opened up another day, and so now we bring in anywhere between 3,000 to 4,000 people in our 2 nights.
Wow!
And we do it for free. And everybody says we should charge, but I'm never going to charge because I know personally my youngest son, he works at Valley of Fear, a very professional haunted house not far from here, and we've gone, and it's costly. And I always just want to be a very affordable. Free is as affordable as it's going to get to
100%.
those who can't experience that Halloween feeling. I'm not saying that they they can charge whatever they want, but I know for me, it's really important to be able to bring something to the community that they'll be able to get a little fright, a little scare, and walk away maybe.
I gotta tell you, I gotta say this because I used to go to this. There was a spot. It was open for 2 years, if I remember correctly, in the late '90s, and it wasn't too far from you. It was called Terror on Route 13, and it was in a strip mall.
Oh, okay.
Somewhere in Bristol, Croydon, on Route 13, and it went down into a basement, and it was really cool, and it was cheap. It was like $15, and we did that a couple times. This kicks the dog shit out.
Well, your brother.
This is my brother's equipment here.
Yeah. This is your brother's room.
Yeah, this is the equipment of Mr. Jimmy, Mr. James Horror Obetz.
Yes.
That's his Frankenstein. That is his baby.
He
loves that more than he loves himself, and he loves himself a great deal.
He works on Halloween all year long.
He really 100%. Does. He really.
But we live Halloween all year long, so I get
it.
I do too, but not to the extent that you guys.
Just to go back to the part about it being free, like I know I'm a stepmom and whatever, but like doing things with 3 people that cost like money per person. Like we don't do a lot of shit.
Yeah, $35 a person is $100.
You know what I mean?
You know what I mean?
Oh, just going to the movies. Like go to the movies. You drop in.
We went to a thing the other day that was $30 a person, and I was like, "Fucking $90 just to go to this shit for 5 hours."
Not for nothing. You're attractive. I know last year. I can't speak for this year. If it lives up, to, I'm sure it will.
I hope so.
What I'm saying is, you do a bang up job. It's better than going to the movies.
Oh,
like if you're looking for something to do and like you want to go see a horror movie, this is better than doing that. I've been looking for the Scarecrow. Did we miss her?
No, she's coming up. She's coming up. Yeah, she's coming up right here. She is. She's right here.
Here she is. And it was the whole point of what got me here. Let me see, dude.
She is real.
Look at that.
That's a person.
She is a person.
When you walk up, this doesn't even. I went back way too far.
That's okay. Yeah. Here she comes. So you'll see her. So this was like leading up to her. That winged creature was supposed to be like the Jersey Devil, and then then Bigfoot.
We got all the. Well, and so I can only imagine what is the circus again? That looks like fake. That looks like a fucking mannequin. And then it starts to fucking move. Dude, when you walk up on that thing, when you walk up on that
with the
thing.
knife, she scares you.
Dude.
65 years old and still rocking.
God bless her.
I love it. Her and her craft.
Absolutely fantastic.
She's amazing. As all of our cast and crew are.
Yeah.
So how it works is earlier in the year we map out the yard and we basically give away plots of real estate. And from there, we come up with a theme and then they're given that chunk of real estate and then what are they going to do with it?
Right. Gotcha.
And so they are in charge of their areas. And we go around and say, okay, do you need electric? My husband provides the electric. What do you need that I need to raise money for? What do you need? But everything works. And there's some years that a room doesn't work. And there's some years that a room kicks ass. And that's really goes to them. They're living out their fantasies with each little each little section. It's just so amazing to see. I mean, Adrienne has done Norman Bates. She did a shower scene, with the knife behind the shower curtain, and she would spray water at people. She's been a Wicked Witch. She's It's Mama Woji. That Mama Woji right there, she was my 3rd grade Catholic school teacher. I have had that woman dress up as a demented nun. I've had her dressed up as a Karen. I've made that woman do so much stuff, and she just keeps coming back for more.
Has Jimmy ever told you about the time me and him did a thing in his backyard?
No, not at all. No, last year was the first year that I found out that your brother's ashes he has always brought to the haunt. I had no idea. I said, Jim, like you buried the lead.
Yeah, he that apparently pissed my mom off a little bit, which is
it's your fault for telling her.
No, throughout the haunt, I do have pictures of past cast members and family and loved ones throughout the haunt because I feel that they're with us. So
yeah, that's their spirit lives on in you.
Absolutely. So I not that I was shocked what Jim had brought, but I thought that was beautiful. That his brother was there too.
I did, and that's why I told my mom, and she didn't find it nearly as beautiful.
You know what? I love the fact because it's so personal. This is so personal to me. Every cast member is special. What everybody does in their rooms is special. What they bring to life. And so I know in some way I'm honoring my parents, Jim's honoring his brother. Everybody has a reason. I'm honoring past cast members who have passed on. So I think this is a wonderful, beautiful tribute. Every scream is a tribute. So
yeah. I mean, this is fantastic, and to have so many volunteers. But when I tell you, me and Jimmy, I had tactically acquired a bolt of black fabric, and we made a maze in his backyard. But the center of it was where I could stay and just hit everybody as they went.
Like hit?
Not hit, but pop out, change mask, pop out, and then we had a couple of kids doing it. We had a good fucking time. But this is I was blown away by this last year. I was so blown away. I was like, I know it's it's over now, but come on and talk about it. And I'll definitely remember you next year, which I did.
Here we are.
Yep, this is my daughter. What a way to bring her boyfriend into the cast by burning him at the stake.
That's all.
Welcome to the initiation, Nick.
Which things?
I mean, we're missing all the jump scares, but it doesn't translate.
That's fine.
With an interview. I just figured it'd be nice to run in the background.
No, this is awesome. So
the beginning part, the waiting in line part, like it's not just walking through this maze, yo. Like you have to get out of your car in the neighborhood and walk up to the house, which is an adventure all on its own.
They got people fucking with you.
As far as I'm willing to go, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Spooky. There's a man that has this metal thing that he's scraping on the ground. There's another man who's very tall and he's wearing overalls, which already is very scary. And then his face is zombie-esque.
Yep.
It's a lot. And there's what's the clown one with the clown, Pennywise.
Yeah.
There's the little girl who just stands behind you and screams.
Yeah, it's I always tell them like, let them come in first and then you can scare them on the way.
Oh, no. This was like we parked 1 block away, and as soon as we got on your street, I was like, hello?
Yeah, no, she was scared before we got out of the car. Do you guys want to do a convoy on the 27th and the 31st? We'll ride up there, or the 20, ride up there.
Oh, okay, that's what I was going to ask, because you said the dates, but I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah,
so what's that, the Saturday before?
It's the Sunday before.
The Sunday before, and then
the 31st, yeah.
Oh my God, I love that.
So so this year's theme. So we had a lot of positive reaction from our neighbors and the surrounding community when we first opened. They had lawn chairs out front, and then as we grew, then started the hate. And so there are quite a few neighbors on my street alone that do not like what we do. Even though I'm insured, I take precautions, I'm trying to manage everybody as much as possible. And we have had neighbors screaming at now also you got to think out of our cast and crew, we also have autistic cast members and cast members with disabilities. Okay. So we had a cast member who had Tourette's, and he's up there. He's a young kid. He's hanging up a sign on the street, and he starts getting frustrated because it wasn't working for him. And to be honest, we should have been up there with him. We sent somebody else up there with him, and he was getting frustrated, and he started cursing. And then one of our neighbors got upset and started screaming, and he ran back at the house and was like in the fetal position crying. And then they came over, husband and wife were like screaming like, he wants to fight us. And I'm like, clearly he wants to fight you as he's in the fetal position. Like, oh, can't you take this somewhere else? Why do you bring these freaks?
Hey, fuck you.
Oh, the murder.
So,
is this the same house that's like blocking off their grass and you can't park in front of their
Which house is it in relation to yours?
Oh, yes.
That's probably a bad idea.
I don't want to give exact locations, but other neighbors have kind of, there's something wrong with these kids. Why do you bring them around? You don't attract good people to our neighborhood. Now we have a place in our area called Wood Services. It's for disabled people, and they come in vans with wheelchairs because we're wheelchair accessible too. Which was such a beautiful thing to see.
Not for nothing. I want you to explain this, and I don't know how you feel about this, and if it hurts your feelings a little bit, I'm sorry, but I used to live in Port Richmond, which is right next to Kensington, Philadelphia. In that area, people still made fun of Croydon.
Oh yeah, they used to call us Little Kensington.
So if you live in Croydon, you are the wrong type of people. Shut the fuck up. You know what I mean?
Oh, absolutely. I was so angry. I was so angry that even before our first show last year, when some of the neighbors were, coming at us, and I'm not saying all of them, a lot of them are very, very nice. A lot of us support them. It's just a few, but right. It takes those few to like kill it for you. And so I called Jackie, who we partner with her autism nonprofit. And I said, I already know what I want to do for next year. I want to have a freak show, because if they're going to call our kids freaks, we're all going to be freaks. We're all going to dress up as freaks. And she's like, I like the idea, but can we not call it freak show? Right. And I'm like, because I was angry.
Wait, this was last year?
Yeah, this was before our first show last year.
Wait, hang on. So, okay. All right.
This is 2023.
This is 2023.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, here's the thing. In order for someone to talk to and about someone in that manner, you would have to be a low-class human being in 1996. In order for me to think that you are a low-class human being, that is the standard by which you have to fit it, and that is what it is.
Right.
Now, in the year 2023, those people are just downright despicable, and
absolutely,
and it's disgusting. And I love. So, what is the name of the thing again?
What are this year's theme?
Yeah.
Sinister Circus, the Mad Scientist Twisted Sideshow. So Jackie says, I like it, but let's not call it freak show. And she said, you need to calm down. These people don't matter. What you're doing to the community, what you're doing for the community is so much bigger. And don't let the haters, drown out all the good that you're doing. So, okay. I know, put it aside. So then it comes back to the story of your brother. So every year, your brother has the same area and he always adds to it. And his area is great. In fact, I tell people not to run past his area because it's so intricate and so detailed. Like
he does so, like, it's all year long. It's all.
Oh my God! And he's a
professional. You got to understand, he's also a professional fucking welder and a fabricator, and he knows how all this shit like works.
Oh yeah!
So
absolutely.
Everything there on high could kill you. It's all on low. Like, you know what I mean? It's all like pneumatic. So it's all on low, but like it's all like heavy duty. It will never break, and if it does, he can fix it on the fly.
Oh, absolutely. No. So I said, every year we change our theme up, and it's always trying to figure out how to get Jim's area, to revolve around the theme and him not change, obviously.
Right.
So me and another cast member, Christine, was like, oh, it must be difficult to try to work Jim's area into whatever theme we're doing. And I said, yeah. And she goes, why don't we just make Jim's area just work for us? And I said, oh,
what theme?
Whoa, what do you mean? And she's like, yeah, so if we're going to do like the freak show, a twisted sideshow, have Jim, the mad scientist, be creating all the twisted characters in there. So that's going to be this year's story. So as you're going to be walking through, it's going to be Jim, the mad scientist, who's going to be creating all the twisted sideshow characters. So you never know what you're going to find. You're going to find, clowns. It might be stepped up a notch. You find a bearded lady. She might be a little twisted, You're going to find, conjoined twins, hey, even the mad scientist might have taken a few bugs and combined them with people. You never know. You never know.
That's fantastic. Hopefully he'll have like a human centipede too. That'd be great.
Well, not from the movie. Let's not go from the movie.
So this is what Copilot gives me when I type in Sinister Circus, generate image of Sinister Circus. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So, and I love that each cast member is really taking this theme and creating like the creepiest characters.
Yeah, it's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah. So without saying, I mean, behind the scenes, I'm like, oh, we're having a freak show, but it's a twisted sideshow. And I tell them, like, we can't say freaks. We can't say freaks. Inside, we're all freaks, right? We're all going to be freaks, because if they're going to call us freaks, they're going to call all of our people freaks, then we might as well be freaks. But
I mean, they had a whole TV show called Freak Show, the American Horror Story season that was called Freak Show.
Yeah. But I'm trying to be respectful for Jackie and for that community. And so twisted sideshow characters it is. And it's going to be great. It's going to be great. I'm super excited. We're so busy right now. And
we're going to have someone with 3 boobs.
Oh, didn't think about that one.
Yeah. Angela Bassett's character. She had 3 boobs.
We might be able to make it happen.
Okay.
Here's the thing is, I think this is what people need to realize is nothing can fuel the creative fire like unneeded resistance.
Yeah.
Like when you get resistance for like no reason, that's when you get it's like creativity for spite. And it really
is. It makes me so upset, because if you look at the down and dirty of things, we are open 6 hours out of the year.
Yeah. 6
hours out of the year. These people can't suck it up for 6 hours out of the year. 6 hours. I mean, and I get it. It's in a residential area. It gets crazy. And I do try to explain to them, like, we're doing something. We're the first in the country to do a sensory-friendly haunted walkthrough. Now, other people have done it, and that's great. But in our area, we are the only one that does it. So, like, could you just put aside your pride and your ignorance, for 6 goddamn hours? Like,
I got an idea. Why don't you go take advantage of this free theatrical event? This live people, dude. This what you do, the way it's done, and the detail, everything that goes into this is fucking. I would say it's Disney quality, but better because you're not confined by Disney's rules. It's hard to, as far as a production is concerned, when you're talking about a show,
it's each person's, I guess, own little dream world that those 2 show nights. It's whatever they come up with. And I encourage them to be as creative as you want to be. And, there are times where I thought, when we have our cast and crew meeting, it's crazy because, we'll have 30 or 40 people like inside my house, and, there'll all be these little conversations going on. And I love that part because I'll be walking around and, there'll be a conversation over in this corner. I'll be like, oh my God, what if I like chop off my head? And I'm like holding it. I'm like, that's a good one. And, I'm like walking along and it's like, oh my God, what if I'm like stabbing myself? And I'm like pulling out all my guts and like giving it to people. I'm like, oh, that's a good one. So it's kind of funny, like hearing everybody's, visions. And there was some times that I thought, like, we're probably going to get shut down for this. And and we never have, and nobody's ever complained. In fact, they liked it. I really thought one year. So our cast members, Tom and Jill, they came to us with the idea. Actually, a neighbor came to us with the idea of having like a zombie couple, eating like out of a bucket of chicken, but it's saying, baby parts, and there's like baby dolls on the grill, and I was like, yeah, no, I just don't. No. This is just no. We can make it like zombie, and it's zombie.
Deep fried babies. No, deep fried babies are great.
Right, it's zombies.
Deep fried babies.
You had to draw the line somewhere.
Right, and I was like, I don't know, and they like totally zombie area, and they did it, and people loved it. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
It's. You
got to be kidding me. And they were great. And they were redneck. Jill was pregnant, and she had like they were redneck zombie couple, and she had like baby arms coming out of her stomach, and people loved it. People loved it. And I'm just
fantastic.
Yeah, it's just crazy.
So
I mean, people love horror movies.
Yes.
And people love theatrics, and people love to get scared, especially when they know they're in a relatively safe environment. You want to get scared without actually being in danger. It's a fantastic. It's a fantastic escape.
I was in danger.
But you've got to know
a scaredy
First of all, you're with your brute of a husband.
Is that right?
And
hey, come on!
Wearing a I'm Kenneth t-shirt.
I am Knuff. Dude, that movie's fantastic. If you don't watch the last 15 minutes.
I have not watched that movie yet. So
when my husband and I first started, when that's the first year when it was just him and me, and we had a woman who walked in with a wagon full of kids, and they would come up to the steps, and I would give them candy, and then I would say, as they were walking out, I would say like the magic word, like Happy Halloween. And my husband had built these stilt shoes, and when she was first coming up the walkway, the kids were like kind of like leaning to the side going, look at that guy. And she's like poking at my husband like, he's not real. He's fake. This is all make believe. And as she turned around and walked down my walkway, and I said Happy Halloween, and my husband stood up and put his hand on her shoulder, she ran down the street, left the kids in the wagon crying.
Fuck these kids!
And she would not come back and get them. I had to take the wagon down.
You bring me that motherfucking kid.
She wasn't. She's like, oh no, I'm not coming back. And I was like,
you can bring them to me or give them the state. I don't give a fuck.
They're screaming, Mama. I was like, all right, guys, everybody get in the wagon. We got to go back to your mother. We've had women and men jump out of their shoes, leave their shoes, drop bags of candy. People pee themselves. We've had people poop themselves. My son got punched accidentally. A woman like threw her hands up and hit him in the face. And we had an EMT on call that night. And he ran to her and he said, Tanya, clean me up, but don't clean me up too good, because this looks really real. Okay. And he was only 10 at the time.
Oh my gosh.
So
I just feel like that's what you get for standing that close to somebody.
We have so many stories like that. It's so great. Adrian, when she had her haunt, she had two guys walking through the haunt. They'd been through it before, and they were like, oh yeah, over there somebody jumps out, this person jumps out, blah blah blah. So she told one of the cast members to go in the back of their car with a chainsaw and wait for them. So the girl did, and then when they got into the car, they were like, "That's lame," and she started up the chainsaw in the back of their car, and they got out of the car running.
I feel like for me to be okay with this, like we need to be like 10 people deep, and I can just be in.
I think we can. I don't see any reason why we can't put together 10 people.
Oh, now we're unique. We're unique. So if we do, like, obviously sensory friendly, every one of our cast members is dressed up in scary makeup, but it's all friendly interactions. But even if kids are still scared during their sensory friendly, I tell them that they can yell boo, and every cast member will like fall down and pretend that they're scared. Now, during the nighttime haunt, if I see little ones that are coming through, they're scared, I will give a magic word to them that if they shout it every time that they walk into the room, the cast will automatically be sensory friendly as much as possible and have friendly interactions.
Tell me right now.
So, but real quick, so I had, we had a long line one year, and I had this really big guy come up to the line. He said, "Do you have any clowns in the back?" And I said, "Oh yeah, I have at least a dozen clowns back there." And he said, "F that," and turned around and walked away. And I was like, "Oh my God, no! If I have more than like 2 clowns, like nobody would ever walk through." And he says, "Then you better tell them not to scare me, because I will kill them."
Dude,
Not a murder.
I remember one time I went to this place that was down the street from my house. I wound up working there. I forget what the place was, the attraction was called, but me and a bunch of friends went to it because it was like within walking distance of my house. And like, we're a bunch of punk rockers, and I'm with my friend Pat Hewlick, and you just got to picture a dude, leather jacket, red plaid pants, boots up, calf boots, like mohawk, the punk rocker, walking through, everything's lame. He's not that. He sees one clown, almost fucking shits him, like tries to get out. The clown realizes how scared he is of him and starts to
beeline.
Yeah, starts, because when you get somebody on the hook, you want to scare him.
Absolutely not.
But dude, that clown got punched in the face. He just turned around and went,
People
"Pow!"
do
and
not
knocked
like
the clown
clowns.
right down. And
I love that you know that like sounds so like Halloween industry. Like, no, I can't have more than 2 clowns because nobody would come. Like, that is such an industry thing to just like say and know.
Well, because in my speech in the beginning, I always ask people if they've been here before, and if they have, then I say, welcome back, and I tell a little bit of the story that year. And if somebody hasn't, and I said, I have, however many cast members I have in the back, 40, 40 demented, people, 50 demented people, whatever. I've had up to 50, 55 cast members in the back. Mm-hmm. And one time I said 50 clowns, and there was people that started turning away. I said, "Oh my God, no, if I had 50 clowns, somebody would come."
Oh, I know.
And this guy, he was like, "Well, how many do you have?" And I was like, 2. "Oh shit, no, you're big. Okay, there's really 3. And there's a 4th one hiding behind one of the doors, okay?"
I feel like eventually you're gonna have to get like it would work in Target, and you have like the thing in your ear with the microphone, and you just have to be like, "Clowns, there's a guy coming with a blue shirt. Don't even try it."
Oh yeah, we do have a little bit of a walkie-talkie system. So if somebody comes up and they're like, "Oh, I have kids that are scared," then I'll say, "Okay, all right, guys, the next group coming through, tone it down." But then I've had groups that come through and they're like, "Give us everything you got." And I'm like, "Oh, I got 6 coming through for the full Monty."
That's not me.
I mean, you're a better person than I, because if somebody walked up to me and was like, I got kids that get scared easy, like, what the fuck are you doing here? This is a bad idea.
Come back for the sensory friendly. No,
right?
No, I still want them to be able to enjoy. I still want them to be able to enjoy the experience, because obviously going through the haunt during the day is totally different than at night. There's no fog, there's no strobes, there's no special effects during the day. So, I mean, I've had, parents that walk through, we've toned it down at night, and then they're like, they like leave their kids out in the street with a friend out there, and they're like, "Can we walk through, and can you ramp it up?" I'm like,
"Can we do it like regular?" Because that.
Okay. But you don't touch them, they don't touch you. I mean, I know that my daughter was at a haunt where they were like, running the chainsaw like down her leg, and she was like, I didn't sign up for this. So
that's me.
Yeah, we don't allow that.
I didn't sign up for
I think if I want to go to this, I gotta not tell you, just get you in the car somehow.
No,
she'll know.
I will know as soon as I see the sign on the main road. I'll be like,
we actually had a cameraman from like the local TV station, Action News, and he came through with this big camera, like this $100,000 camera, and we had somebody in the hallway that was all dressed in black and like this black shadow suit. And as the cameraman walked by, he just like whispered in his ears, like, "Keep going." And he almost dropped the camera. But he was such a, oh my God. And I was like saying to Dan, I was like, "Oh my God, we don't have enough insurance for that." But anyway, he was a good sport, and he got his picture taken at the photo booth at the end. So
nice. Now, if people want to send donations, if somebody's watching this and wants to send you money, how do they do that?
Okay, so we actually have a website now. So my wonderful daughter Shannon created our website. Yes, so we're getting up there. So Croydon Haunted Hollows.org. You can donate to us on there. You can follow us on Facebook. We're on TikTok. We're trying to build up our YouTube channel. We're on Instagram. You know, we're
Very
trying to be
active on all
we're
of the
trying
platforms.
well, I have to say I started Facebook first, so that is like my love. I started Instagram later, TikTok later, so all those are a little bit behind, but I know when my oldest son Dean, he was like, you need help. I was like, yes, I need to delegate. And he's like, okay. And then he looked at the Facebook page. He goes, you have over 20,000 followers. I'm like, oh, it's a labor of love. These are my people. And now we're over 23,000 and still growing for that. We're always more popular in September and October. And believe me, it's hard. Everybody's like, oh, you're a nonprofit, so you get all this money. No, I've applied for grants. We've gotten turned down. Nobody donates to us throughout the year when we need it the most for, gathering supplies and whatnot.
Right.
We reuse, we recycle a lot. We do get businesses to sponsor us now, so that is new. And also because I feel bad for our cast and crew that only get to haunt and do their thing 6 hours out of the year. We made a partnership deal with the Chamonix Creek Brewery, and we're going to be providing cast members for all their spooky events so they can get some extra haunt time in.
Cute.
Very fun.
So that's that when you seen the zombies, and they loved it. It's, even though it's a lot of work and doing all that makeup for just a few hours, they're like, oh my God, thank you for doing this for us. I'm like, I'm thinking about you guys.
Listen, I'm on a creative journey, so you're out here providing a creative outlet for these kids.
Yeah, we were.
And these regular, not kids.
Yeah, Jimmy's not a kid.
Right.
He's 13 years old and I am.
Adrian's 65 years old out here looking like
Yeah,
a
the
zombie.
Chamonix they have this beer called the Dawn of the John, and they were showing
John.
Yeah, so they were showing a zombie movie and had an actor from the movie and had some, things from the set of the movie, and we had some zombies walking around and everybody loved it. So they did good.
That's fantastic. All right. Colleen, thank you so much.
No, thank you.
Thank you. I hope so we're going to, in the next block, what we're going to do is finish up our Mike Hawk series, Mike Hawk PI. And it's a cold read, which means that Pete and Dre haven't seen this before. They haven't seen this piece of work. Mike and I wrote it. And when I say Mike and I wrote it, like Mike would start writing and then I would take from where he went and I would start writing. And then he would take from where I went and then he would start writing. And then we finished it together. Right. So it's kind of like an improv piece. And then what we do with that is I take it, break it up, and make little videos out of it, like that trailer.
Oh, cool! Yeah, that sounds like fun.
So if you'd like to join us, we would love to have you.
Great.
If you don't want to be a part of such tomfoolery and debauchery, we don't blame you.
I think I need a little bit of that tonight. So
I enjoy tomfoolery and debauchery. Those are two of my favorite.
Sign me up.
All right, terrific. But before we go. We're getting everything in, just not at the right time. Before we go, we have a little bit that we call Big Daddy Asks, and we're gonna find out what Big Daddy has to ask us this week. And then we kind of go. He asks a kind of a just a simple question. Sometimes it's less appealing than others. But
I have one quick question before you do that.
Go right ahead, Peter.
For Colleen.
Sure.
You keep mentioning the insurance policy that you have for this the Haunted Hollows. How do you go to an insurance company and be like, I need an insurance policy for this? And what kind of riders do you get additionally on that insurance.
Pull out your policy, Colleen. Let's go over line by
No,
line.
that's a really good question because
Is there like some kid pooped his pants, rider, like you'll cover the cost of a new pair of pants.
You would think that. You would think that. Maybe I should get that included. This takes place at my house. So they said, you can use your regular homeowner's policy. I didn't want to trust that. I didn't want to trust that at all. Being that the Hollows is a nonprofit, I wanted to make sure that we were definitely properly insured. So for the month of October, I have event insurance that secures us for $1 million to $2 million. If anything happens. And we actually did have something happen, and they didn't go against we partnered with a local dance studio, and we did Thriller out in the street before our show one year. And a kid was playing with one of the ropes that was tied to our lights that we had hanging in the street. And one light came down and hit a woman right in the face. And, her nose was bleeding and everything. And I kept saying, oh my God, like, we have insurance for this. And she was like, no, I'm just so excited. I'm not losing my place in line. I want to walk through. I'm like, okay, because at that we sometimes generate a large line, so I want to make sure that we're always insured. And like I said, being a nonprofit, we have to get board member insurance, and then I get special event insurance for the month of October. So, and sadly, if I was just having a black party, for the whole month, I'm sure it would only cost me a couple $100. But as soon as I say haunted walkthrough, it immediately skyrockets to 3 to 4 times the amount. So,
wow,
it's sad. It's sad, but I just want to make sure that we're all good. All the cast members are good while they're working here, whatnot. So,
yeah, that's very responsible. Fantastic. That's good business. You don't want to.
Yeah, absolutely.
You don't lose your house because you're trying to have fun with the neighborhood.
Yeah, I do. I work, like I said, I'm a full-time graphic designer, and on the side, I work at a Painting with a Twist, teaching how to paint. And so all those paychecks go toward the Hollows. So
you're just a creative little wonder out there, aren't you?
Well, yeah, painting for me is very therapeutic. It's like art therapy. And while I'm teaching painting or while I'm painting, I'm not thinking about all the craziness. I'm just making sure that this tree on this painting looks like a tree, the pumpkin looks like a pumpkin kind of thing. And plus it allows me to be able to put a little bit more money toward doing the Hollows, which I love. I love doing it. So,
well, it's a fantastic thing. And again, well, thank you for doing it. Thank you for your time today. And I think, we still got to do Big Daddy X.
Yes.
I'm like fucking. Here we go.
The Media Virus Podcast presents a Stanley McFadden production. Big Daddy proudly brings to you.
Big Daddy asks,
what is your favorite one-hit wonder?
Ooh.
Ike Turner. No good?
That doesn't really fit the bill.
I mean, I know he hit her more than once, but
womp womp womp.
Wow.
I have to admit, I previewed the Big Daddy Asks before.
Oh, you cheated! You cheated!
Yeah, I had that fucking loaded.
You cheater!
That's a tough question.
I think my favorite one-hit wonder is that one that goes, "Let the bodies hit the floor, let the bodies hit the floor, let the bodies hit the floor."
Who was that?
Right?
Who sang that?
Exactly.
I think it's Seether for some reason.
No,
I think it's like Static X.
Is it?
Or
no, Static X did
Who Who sang
I
"Let
don't-
the Bodies Hit the Floor"?
At this point in
Drowning Pool.
drowning pools.
Drowning Pool.
I feel like they had some other ones.
Name one.
Yeah, but
All
I
right.
mean, I feel like they had a couple other songs. So like, I wouldn't. I mean, if that's your one hit wonder, that's cool.
I mean, I feel like that's also not a hit. So, take that for what it was. Just a song. The first song I thought of that I didn't know who did it or what other song they had.
Oh, this is really a tough one.
It is a tough one.
I don't know. I was a 90s kid. I graduated in 93. So, those Vanilla Ice, Ice Ice Baby, Who Let the Dogs Out. Like,
Yeah, you have a stockpile,
right
right?
Yeah. Quite a few.
I think the one that keeps coming to mind as a one-hit wonder overall that always come is 8675309 Jenny by Tommy Two-Tone.
Tommy Two-Tone.
Good one.
That's a good one. That's a good tune.
As soon as he said one hit wonders, I don't know why it popped in my head was I'm on a Mexican radio by Voodoo.
Mexican radio.
I'll just find myself like just randomly start singing that, out of nowhere.
Mine is definitely "Baby Got Back" by Sir Mix-a-Lot.
Wait, was Sir Mix-a-Lot a one-hit wonder?
Yeah, I don't
Technically, no. He had other hits, but that is the one that. Can you name any of his other hits? Like now, I can't because I have 6 or 7 different albums, so that's not a problem for me. But that is his claim to fame, and he's aware of that. But the first album, it goes back into the early 80s with Seminar, Swap Me Louie, Beepers, My Hoopty, Testarossa, The Jackback, Baby Got Back, One Time's Got No Case. Later on was Jump On It, Put 'Em on the Glass, Ride. Even though Baby Got Back technically was a one-hit wonder, he did have other not as popular hits at the point.
Right, but I don't think he charted any of those other ones, technically making it a one-hit wonder.
Exactly.
I once argued with a guy for some reason. I don't know why I was arguing with him. Because I was trying to explain how much Cheap Trick sucks. And this dude was like Cheap Trick's biggest fucking fan. He was naming albums, and for the longest time, and it's not that Cheap Trick. I like some of their tunes.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But I just don't think they have staying power. I can't imagine, and it boggles the mind in my mind. It boggles my mind.
But they want you to want them.
No, I know, but it boggles my mind for that.
They will be the flame.
For Cheap Trick to be somebody's favorite band just fucks with me. Their favorite band is Cheap Trick. That fucks with me.
You could respect Blue Oyster Cult first, right?
Dude, yeah. Because Don't Fear the Reaper is a fucking great song.
It's amazing.
The only problem with it is for some reason when I'm driving on a highway, that song starts to put me to sleep. But that wakes me up. Yeah. And that's terrifying. I don't know if you've ever woken up driving a car. But
it's terrible.
I don't recommend it.
No,
from experience.
Usually a bad day.
Twice.
But that I am now more bothered by Big Daddy's knowledge of Sir Mix-a-Lot tunes.
I was once at a networking event where this man just kept going on and on and on about Kansas. And I finally turned to him and I said, he goes, Kansas. I'm like, the state or the band? He was just going, I follow them. And he's just going on and on. I'm like, the state or the band?
What was their one hit wonder? Were there
Carry on my wayward son?
Yeah, I think
you'll be slit when you.
I think that was
done.
it. But he kept going on and on, and he said, what's your favorite band? I said, well, I'm a big Fleetwood Mac, Stevie Nicks fan. He goes, yeah, they're okay, but Kansas. And I went, no.
Okay, yeah, you got to go, buddy.
No.
If your answer to Stevie Nicks is but Kansas.
That's one of the things I enjoyed about the big movie Big Daddy is the his characters, the Big Daddy, like Adam Sandler's character, his favorite band was Styx. And it's just like whose favorite band is Styx? Like who's
Does everybody remember on that 70s show? And Eric, or is it Eric?
I think so. Go ahead.
Yeah, he's going on about how Styx it's like something but more orchestral, and he's talking about Styx.
I mean, they did do an operatic album, Paradise Theater, good album. But what are you gonna do?
I had a manager at American Appliance who we spent a half an hour out back smoking a joint talking about how good Dream Theater is. And I've never been a big fan of Dream Theater, but it was his joint. So
right.
I had to agree. So
when somebody brings up Kansas, how do you work Toto into that conversation without seeming like a douchebag?
Right. The only reason I know that was that's the song and that's Kansas is because I don't remember on some thing like a special they had rock bands come in and play classic rock tunes.
Right.
And Guar did Carry On My Wayward Son.
That could be interesting.
Fan-fucking-tastic. But we are going to bring this block to an end and start the next block.
We are. And we're going to come back in the C block and we're going to end up the quadrilogy of the Mike Hawk PI series. And if you were with us earlier in this block, you got to see the trailer for the up and coming Mike Hawk Zombie Hunter. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the B block on the 204th episode of the Media Virus Podcast. We'll be back right after this. We almost sound professional sometimes.
Sometimes.
Once in a while. Don't let it go to your head.
It was super fun. Thank you so much.
Again, thank you.